1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster.
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Baker's, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Baker's worth it every time. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome once again to Monster Movie Fun Time Go, 31 Days of Horror. Oops, all werewolves. This is day number 27. And my guest today, returning once again, is my brother, the Texicano folk rock punk, Gabriel Lopez.
Woo! Hello, MFTG fans. Hope y'all are doing great today. Hope you love that little ditty opening number there.
That's right. You can find that on our Bandcamp page. That was recorded by Gabriel himself and our sister Adelita. So, since if you've been paying attention at all, Gabriel does not like horror movies.
I do not.
And so we are going to be looking today at the 1985 comedy Teen Wolf.
Classic Teen Wolf.
A classic. Classic Teen Wolf as opposed to the newer
Oh, I meant just that it is a classic, but yes, it would also be your classic Teen Wolf.
Yes, because there
versus the many iterations of the.
There's a Teen Wolf franchise.
There is, and it is very incoherent as far as tying together.
3-ish movies, a cartoon series, and a TV series, and I think a spin-off. Isn't Wolfpack a spin-off?
Yeah, and I think there might even be some new thing about to start.
All I know about is Wolfpack, which
another reboot in the works.
Oof.
But we're doing a twofer. We'll have this episode and then the next one being Teen Wolf 2.
Yes.
So we will get to delve into
cleverly spelled T-O-O.
Yes, as in
Teen
Wolf also.
Yeah.
Not as in a second film, because it's really just the same fucking movie done over again.
But we'll get to that.
We will get to that. Oh.
This came out in 1985, the same year, and in fact the same summer as Back to the Future, also starring Michael J. Fox.
Really?
That came out in like July, and this came out in August.
Huh, okay. I thought I'd read something about, because of the success of Back to the Future, he started getting swamped on the set of Teen Wolf.
He was already... This filmed in 84, and I assume Back to the Future was filming in a similar time period. Mm-hmm. It came out in July of 85.
Okay.
It doesn't. This article doesn't say when it was filming, but it was probably about a year earlier.
Right. Well, it was a trivia thing on IMDb, and I think those can be like Wikipedia. You can upload directly.
Right.
Individuals. So it could have definitely been a incorrect information that I was given, or that I researched.
Yeah, I can't find when it was actually filming, but probably about a year ahead of time. So, yeah, this is, when his career was really taking off, having been in Family Ties, and now moving into movies. It was directed by Rob Daniel, written by Jeff Loeb. He's a comic book writer. And Matthew Weissman. He does other writing, obviously, but I know his name from comic books. It's 92 minutes. The budget was $4 million. The box office was $30 million.
Which is what happens that makes people do a shitty newer version hoping to cash in on that Teen Wolf money.
So, as we were saying, though, there was a cartoon series between this and the second movie. Mm-hmm. And then years later, MTV series, I believe is where it aired, which is because they don't show music videos anymore on that
They
channel.
do not.
And that took a more serious kind of CW approach to the subject matter, but I believe it's by the same guy.
Right.
Same
No,
pro-
all of them are. Yeah.
Same
Whoever
producer.
the main guy is of it has done all these, even though they switch from genre to genre, and even some of how the werewolves work. The folklore behind it switches, and he just really loves werewolves and the idea of them being teenagers, and even if they have nothing to do with one another, it's still considered a franchise for some insane reason.
Yeah. Would that be the producer or the director?
I could not tell you that.
I couldn't possibly care less now that I think about it. So it stars Michael J. Fox as Scott Howard, James Hampton as Harold Howard, who also was the only one from the movie to be in the cartoon. Susan Ursiti as Boof, a name that is never explained.
No, horrible name. Great character. Great
Jerry
actress.
Levine as Styles, Matt Adler as Lewis, Lori Griffin as Pamela, Jim McCrell as Mr. Thorne, Mac Arnold as Mick, Jay Tarses as Coach Finstock, who has my favorite line in the movie, Mark Holton as the unfortunately named Chubby,
Woohoo.
and Scott Paulin as Kirk Lawley. Mark Holton is also in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes, he plays the greatest villain of all time.
Also in Teen Wolf 2.
That's what I was just starting to look up. Was his name in that?
I think they
Francis, I believe.
Oh yeah, yes, Francis is his character in Pee-wee.
Yes, and he's great. He's great. He fucking Hollywood of the '80s. I don't think that character actor ever got a chance to really do quality work. 'Cause it was always the comic relief. I'm the heavy guy, so
Yeah. I mean, it's a very 80s thing to just call his character Chubby.
Right. And I mean,
And they drop an F-bomb in this movie, and not that F-bomb, the other F-bomb.
what, fat?
No.
Oh yeah, the gay jokes.
Yeah.
There's
well,
two
not even a
really
joke.
bad.
Not even a real joke. Just more a... At one point, Michael's trying to... Michael. Scott.
Yes,
Michael's
he's
character.
trying to come. He's trying to come out as a werewolf, but Styles thinks he's coming out as about to come out as gay.
Yes.
But then there was also a joke in the locker room where both of them at the time I was like, "Oh my god, yep, we're in the '80s,"
Yeah.
because it was just so tacky and unnecessary. I mean, that's the mentality of people at the time.
Yeah.
So I guess it's true to the era and it's true to the period.
Yeah, but they weren't making any social comments
Right?
about it.
No, it was we're gonna
They
make
were
fun
just
of gay
being
people.
they were just
because
being
it's-
homophobic and throwing slurs around. So yeah, they just straight up use that word. Okay, so
And it was
that's-
very white. Oh, what a white film.
yeah. We haven't mentioned. We used to bring
For a
this up.
basketball movie, there was one black guy
Right.
who was on the basketball team. He had one line in the locker room. I think it was the same actor that we saw breakdancing in the hallway that Styles gives a high five to or some bullshit.
Of course.
Even in the 80s, what one black guy on all the basketball teams? Good
Yeah,
Lord. That's
yeah.
just not...
Well, what are you gonna do?
Don't know.
All right, so this, I guess, is a.
You were starting to say, do you not do the racial level
We haven't
range,
been
quality?
doing it much, no. But
Well, you're getting to more modern era films, so it's
Yeah.
not as
yeah,
big of a deal.
There's still
I
not
guess.
that many black people in the movies, though. So, Gabriel, thoughts, feelings, emotions?
I loved it. I mean, granted, female roles were incredibly limited. There was homophobia. There was, no cultural diversity at all. However, I remember seeing this as a kid. I remember seeing it when it came out. I remember his first transition where it happens in real time. That's not CGI. That was like stop motion sculpture, makeup artist work. It was incredible. All things considered, it really held up, and just on a nostalgia level, because I remember it from my childhood.
Right.
And it takes me back to that's a completely different world than what we live in now. There was no internet, no cell phones,
Right.
none of that. A
Right.
whole different
Teenagers just riding on the tops of vehicles.
We did that at Kaleidoscope
what?
because of that movie. Yeah, we did. It wasn't vans, it was cars though. But we used to, that was the thing. Dumb. And then with Stonehenge, we used to go out to this place called Alaska because it was off of Yukon. It's a big old loop-de-dee field and do it there too. But
it just shows that kids do imitate things they see
absolutely,
in movies.
Absolutely. I don't think they could do that in a movie. Could they do that today without getting
I don't know.
a whole lot of, hey, don't show teenagers doing this?
I don't know.
I don't either.
They would stop and think first anyway.
So nostalgia-wise, I mean, it was a clever take on the werewolf genre
Right.
for the time, right? And yeah, just if I saw it today for the first time, I might be like, wow, that, whatever. But it held a soft spot because I do remember it from my childhood, and as a special effect, I remember being blown away by that at the time.
Okay.
On how good it was. Now, in comparison
I don't even
to
remember.
now,
Yeah, I mean, I watched it a few weeks ago.
when he looks in the bathroom and like his ears start slowly growing, and, and
Okay.
that was all done with makeup and
Yeah,
practical.
Yeah.
And I just remember being blown away as a kid. How did they do that? Whoa.
So this is a type 1 werewolf story and a type 3 werewolf. And if you don't know the types by now, go back and listen to some of the other episodes.
Well, I haven't listened. What's
You don't? Okay, type 1 is the werewolf's journey. Some schmo becomes a werewolf. Usually bitten, sometimes a scientific experiment, sometimes they're just born one and are just now finding out. But they have to deal with it. Often, but not always, they end up dead at the end.
Okay. Type 2?
Type 2 is there's a werewolf among us.
Gotcha.
Got to figure out who it is. Type 3 is the secret lives of werewolves. There's a whole werewolf society, and they've got a whole bunch of dumb rules, and we get introduced to it and learn all about it. And
100% wolf.
yes, yeah.
Well, it's type 1 and type 3, I guess.
Yeah. And the underworld movies and blood.
So
and
wait, it's a type
chocolate.
1 character.
Type 1 character. Type 3 werewolf. Type 1 is werewolf is just you're a wolf. Type 2 is you are a really big wolf, an unnaturally large wolf. And type 3 is you're a wolf man or wolf woman.
Gotcha.
Bipedal, upright,
Okay.
hybrid of a man and a wolf. But there's no bloodlust. There's no real negative repercussions of
No,
being
not
a
at all.
werewolf.
Not at all. And the town and the society, granted, they didn't have social media, but there was still news stations.
Yes, bizarrely,
Nobody freaks out. Everybody just accepts this, and they let him keep playing on the basketball team.
He turns into a werewolf in the middle of a basketball game, and then the game just continues.
Yeah, nobody
And
really loses
somehow
their shit.
this does not. Yeah, people should run screaming out of the auditorium.
Absolutely. Or at least been like, whoa, let's get this kid to a
And
hospital.
Somehow this does not become a national story,
No.
which
And-
sort of maybe implies, though I don't think this was anyone's intention, that everybody kind of knows this could happen.
They're kind of vague about that because the dad, this has been going on for generations and generations.
Right.
It runs in our bloodline. Could they have existed then for, I'm assuming, centuries? And this is the first time it's ever happened in public.
If that's the case, it might be something like albinism. Everybody knows it exists, but maybe you've never encountered it personally
Sure.
in life, and you see it and you're like, oh, okay, that's that thing
Right.
I've heard about.
Alopecia. Yes, but it seems like if that were the case, there would have already been debates in the schools about whether werewolves were allowed to play in sports or not. Right?
'Cause they have
At some point,
enhanced-
some mother,
they have
some
enhanced
father
abilities.
would have been like, this is not fair to the other students, which it isn't, if he's got these supernatural powers.
Does he really, though?
Yes, because he sucks as a basketball
Right.
player until he becomes a wolf.
Yeah, he becomes
And then he can
for
jump
some-
from middle court and slam dunk.
Okay, he does
you
do some big leaps, but
It wasn't a confidence thing. It's physically, he was now better.
I don't
because he
know
was a wolf.
because I'm not sure why he should just be better. I mean, sure, jumping he could be better, but just putting the ball in the net, is his eye-hand coordination now suddenly better?
I mean, it is.
His eyesight might actually be worse.
Right.
Can he smell the net?
There's not a logical reason for it, but
Right.
within the universe they created,
Yeah.
he's doing all sorts of spinning it behind his back, and no one can get him where before.
Exactly.
They were stealing the ball.
But the
from
thing
him,
is,
his team
there's
was
but those
terrible,
are all still.
And now he doesn't even need a team anymore.
The thing is,
As one
just
man, he's
because
fucking Michael Jordan all of a sudden.
just because he's become a wolf, he might be stronger and faster. I don't think that should mean that he's more skilled. That he should be able to dribble better just because he's a werewolf.
Sure, but in the universe they created, he can.
Yes,
because he's
for no
clearly
reason.
dribbling better. His skills are in every regard, strength,
It's insane.
speed, everything. He's now one man because the other guys all just stand there, towards the end of the games.
Yeah.
And it's one person taking on 5 people.
Right.
And it shouldn't be.
So he ends up becoming like
He should have been
sort of-
kicked off the
yeah,
damn team.
Yeah, he ends up becoming like a local celebrity,
Right.
and everybody just wants him for the wolf, not for himself.
Except Boof.
Except Boof.
Boof still wants him because
That's
she's
right.
always wanted him.
Yes, and he's clueless about Boof. Boof is the
But he's not. That was the weird thing. Because they did have the little make-out
Right.
closet
yeah.
at the party, make-out session.
So Michael's a dumbass.
Because there's a whole back and forth of they like each other, they don't like
Yeah.
each other, which, it's the whole John Hughes
Yes.
80s love story with the boy doesn't realize the nerdy girl, or vice versa. The girl doesn't realize the nerdy boy likes him. And
There is a
it's the retelling of that, but they muddied the waters of them having a thing and then not having a thing,
Yeah.
and it already being known.
Yeah.
Whereas not a surprise at the end. Hey, wait, I love you. Why are
he's
you
just
this
a big
asshole?
he's just a big dum dum though.
Well, yeah.
There's a beautiful, intelligent, nice girl who likes him, but he wants this dumb, mean blonde
Right.
because she's blonde.
And she's popular
I guess it's stupid.
because she's easy.
Apparently, because
Yeah, she sleeps with him in the thing, and then
is
goes
he a
on a
wolf
date
at
with
that?
him.
If you a wolf, yeah, she goes on a date with him and then tells him
I
that
have a
other guy,
boyfriend.
that other guy's still my
Oh
boyfriend.
yeah, she was the worst.
And she just seems to be doing it to make the other guy mad, really. But
Yeah.
we don't see any reason why she wants to make him mad.
But she also sleeps with him.
She's terrible.
in the dressing room.
Yeah, which is partly, I don't know, his wolf magnetism maybe, but partly she's just a terrible person.
Right. And it's the novelty. It's the
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Just
She's a
'cause she
star
can-
fucker.
Yeah, yeah. Before I forget, the best line in the movie.
Yes, what is
Possibly in all of cinema.
Which one is that?
There's 3 things you need to remember in life. 1, never get less than 12 hours sleep. 2, never play cards with a guy whose first name is the same as a city. 3, never get involved with a girl with a tattoo of a dagger on her body. You remember that, and the rest is cream cheese.
Now I do. And when I was watching Teen Wolf 2 tonight, I won't say my favorite line in that, but there's a great line in that movie that we'll get to. In the
So
next
when
episode.
I think Michael comes
There's
to
your
the,
teaser for the next.
I can't remember if he knows he's a wolf already, but he comes to the coach because he's having a problem, and that's the advice that the coach.
Yeah, no, he does know
gives
he's a wolf.
Okay.
But it's still just all happening to him. He's
Yeah.
getting the sweats and the.
So the rest of the world doesn't know yet, but that's the coach's advice.
Okay, here's my thing, right? Why the hell didn't the father? Somewhere this is a metaphor for puberty, right? Mm-hmm. And why didn't his dad come to him 2 years earlier
Before
and
it
say,
happened.
"Hey,
Yeah.
by the way, we got this weird thing in our family, so you don't get caught out at school."
Well, and it
When it's
also
randomly
means
happening to you,
his father.
let me give you a heads
his
up.
father never changed in front of him before now.
Or his mother,
We don't know anything about his mother.
right? But in the cartoon,
Okay.
which is the same
Did you
universe,
wa-
right? But isn't the mother
Yes and
also
no.
one?
I don't remember.
Which doesn't make sense
He has a
with
sister in the
Hereditary.
cartoon who wants to be one, but doesn't know yet if she is. But in the cartoon, he's also trying to keep it a secret
Right.
because you got to have, I mean, that's a pretty standard thing in a cartoon. You're a superhero or something. You got to keep your identity.
Well, and it's a
secret.
series.
Yeah,
so
it's
you gotta-
ongoing things. So
It's
you
a
can't-
it's a built-in challenge of every episode,
Right.
That you can follow into that formula.
Yeah.
For every episode, if you need to.
Exactly. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
I think. I mean, I probably saw commercials
Was
for
it-
it when it came out, but I don't know that I ever saw.
I should try to check it out. I would guess that it's on YouTube, or at least some of it's on YouTube. I wonder if
But
it-
it's a feel-good movie. It's fun to it's just a fun little story. And there's some good humor in it. I mean, decent humor. I don't know. I mean, it's terrible actually. Now that I think about it, it's not a great film, but it was still enjoyable. as a nostalgia. Would I watch it again someday? Sure, if it's a lazy rainy day, and I was back in life where I only have 3 channels on TV and it was on, probably watch it again. But am I going to sit down anytime soon and go, God, I really want to watch Teen Wolf again? I kind of doubt it, but maybe. I don't know.
It is on HBO. I think we had a whole discussion in the 100% Wolf episode. It was briefly not on HBO. It was on HBO when I picked it. Then it wasn't, and now it is again.
Right.
I don't know what their plan is over there. Oh, I'm sorry. It's on Max.
Yeah.
Is it still HBO if you're watching it on TV and only Max if you're watching the app?
I hope so.
Because
I still don't get that they decided to get rid of the name HBO
on Max.
That's so stupid. HBO is such a household name.
The thing
Why
is,
would you get rid of that?
On Max, there's these different hubs, and one of the hubs is HBO.
Right.
For your, HBO specific programming, your Game of Thrones and whatnot.
Yeah.
Your Sopranos. I don't know. People at home box office, just stop already. Stop with the Max. It's
go back to HBO.
Dumbest thing ever. So,
what did you think of it?
I mean, I remember liking it at the time. Watching it now, and also watching it in the context of all these other werewolf movies, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Which parts?
Just the whole, he just becomes a werewolf and that's okay. And he just, they keeps playing basketball.
Oh, right.
There's no bloodlust. There's no real downside to it.
Absolutely.
I think the new version does have, and I've watched a few episodes of it, does have much more of the waking up naked in the woods and not knowing what you did kind of thing.
Yeah.
Really dealing with the problems of being a werewolf rather than just the problems of becoming comfortable with being yourself.
Right.
Which is really what this movie's about. It's just being comfortable with being yourself.
True, but being himself should be being a werewolf because that's who he is. But then he denies being a werewolf. I mean, there's still somewhere in there that it's confusing.
Yes.
Because, to truly accept himself would be to accept the werewolf without being a huge dick.
Yeah.
And an arrogant prick when you become the wolf.
Right.
Which is what happened.
Yeah. He's a bit of a ball hog once he learns how to handle the ball on the court.
Right.
But then in the end decides to come play as himself in the final game.
Which they would have lost. There's no way they win that game.
Well, the other guys haven't even been getting any practice. They weren't good to start with.
Exactly.
But they haven't been getting any practice.
Right. So now they haven't had any practice. They didn't work together as a team to get better.
Now they have heart.
Yeah. Well, heart's not enough. I mean, it's Hollywood and this movie is pretend, but sometimes movies like that, I'm just like, ugh. I was going to save this for the next film, but it would have meant more. Granted, it's a feel-good comedy.
Yeah.
So, but as a film, like on the artistic level of, great storytelling, it would have meant more if he lost. Because then he's sacrificing something to remain true. It's like, yes, I was me, but...
Sure, but
he fails anyway because they would have.
Then that means that he dragged the rest of the team down with it.
Well, they still got to the finals.
Yeah. So what are you gonna rate Teen Wolf?
What year did it come out? 85?
Yeah.
8-year-old Gabriel still gives it a 6.
6 out of 5.
Yes, 46-year-old Gabriel.
A super moon.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Remember, we're using a moon rating system.
Oh, right.
So it's a super moon.
Yeah, super moon, August with an eclipse. Yeah, the whole shebang. Purple, red, blue. There's all those different colors for the moons. With Mars and all the other planets being in alignment.
A blue moon, perhaps.
Well, there's also orange moons. There's blood red moons. Yeah. There's probably a purple moon.
I don't know.
There's a lot of them.
It's purple cow.
What?
I've never seen a purple cow. I never hope to see one, but I can tell you this right now: I'd rather see than be one.
Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I can think of a lot of worse things to be than a purple cow, though. Half moon, quarter moon. For what? I always hate this part. As just a feel-good relaxing movie that I might recommend to, a 10-year-old nephew, 5 stars. Or as an adult who just wants something mindless to watch that's going to be a feel-good movie, 4. But also, at the end, they act for a second like he's going to go after the victory, the pretty girl standing there, and they act like he's going to go talk to her, but then he doesn't. He runs past and goes to boof. At no point did I believe he was really going to stop and get the pretty girl, because they had already made up and they were already...
Yeah.
They're just... I mean, it's not great writing, but it was definitely better than the second one.
Okay. I'm going to give it a half moon.
Okay.
So there you go. Folks, we will be back tomorrow to talk about Teen Wolf 2. Second verse, same as the first.
Yeah.
A little bit louder and a little bit worse.
And a lot bit worse. I love me some Bateman. Don't get me wrong. But Teen Wolf 2 is terrible.
Please follow us on all the things on the interwebs. You can find links to all of that stuff on mmftg.com. And like and subscribe and rate and review us on whatever thing you listen to us on. And consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/mmftg. That's going to wrap it up for tonight.
Thank y'all for listening.
Today, this afternoon. Thanks for joining me, Gabriel.
You're always welcome.
Until next
always
time.
Always a pleasure.
I have been Precious D. Remember to keep calm and take shelter in basements. And please don't misuse science. We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go. You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review us on your podcasting platform of choice. Our theme song is by the Texacato Folk Rock Punk featuring Lita Lopez. You can support the show, find links to our social media, and even leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/mmftg.